Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kia Hyundai channel. My name's Gabby and this is the redesigned 2025 Hyundai Palisade in the XRT Pro trim. Now this is a little bit of a strange trim level. XRT isn't exactly new to the Hyundai lineup, but it's new to the Palisade, a vehicle that used to be a very refined vehicle, especially compared to the Telluride competitor. So let's take a look at the front end. We'll work our way inside too and talk about some of the changed specs. On the front end, you'll first notice our XRT coral tow hooks. So we first saw this on the revamped Santa Cruz. It's making its way over to the Palisade too, which we like to see. Reading online, I did see that there was going to be a camera departure or approach angle on the front end. Now I can't actually see the camera, so it's up to time to tell us whether it's just going to come from our front-faced camera. As for the rest of the grille, lots of gloss black, a little bit of gunmetal accent, and forward parking sensors. That's not the only bit of tech we get on this vehicle. We also get a full 360 camera, so our camera up at the front, our side view mounted on your mirrors, and then of course your rear ends. Under the hood, there are two powertrains. Now the XRT has a 3.5 liter V6 gasoline direct injection engine. That's going to produce
This is Nervous Gabby from the future, here to say it's a 3.5 liter V6 with 287 horse, 260 pound-feet of torque, and an 8-speed auto transmission.
Like last year, and it can tow up to 5,000 pounds. Next up, wheels. So the wheels on the XRT, similar to what Kia has done on their Telluride X Pro, you get an 18-inch alloy, but a big chunky tire. So there's a lot of sidewall real estate over here, and it is an all-terrain tire done by Continental. Now in Canada, all of our Palisades are standard with all-wheel drive. Here in the States, you'll get a front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive option. However, the XRT is going to come with all-wheel drive. You do also have terrain modes, so you can choose between snow mode, mud mode, or sand mode, each of which will redistribute the torque amount to give you proper traction. The XRT is also going to have an additional 1-inch ground clearance, and it has been anticipated that this vehicle will also have software updates done over the air to help aid with its off-road-esque function. So all of the all-wheel drive systems and electronic stability control systems can be tweaked with software updates, which is pretty cool. A couple other things I'll point out, it just looks fantastic. The matte paint is stylish, and we got some nice gloss or solid black around our wheel arches. Working our way up, we got our mirrors. No word yet on if they're power folding. I'm going to assume that they are, but we will check and report back later. You get your camera mounted on the side and a pretty cool LED turn signal indicator. There's also things like blind spot detection, which were not exactly new to us, but is always nice to see, and digital key entry. For your roof rails, they are the raised style, just like what we see on the Santa Fe, giving this vehicle a little bit more of an edge to its exterior appeal, but also the usability of rooftop storage. We'll work our way over to the back now. The taillights are pretty cool. So full LED taillights, XRT badging on the driver's side with Pro badging just underneath it. So not our typical XRT, there is a little bit more of the trim level designation. Matches perfectly with the tow hooks too, which we'll also find on the back end of the vehicle. There's rear parking sensors. I should probably get out of the way, not block the view for you guys. And the same is repeated on the right-hand side. You also have your backup camera, Palisade badging done in a nice low profile finish, done and also in black. And then our spoiler that hides our rear wiper. Now the back end of this vehicle is very cleaned up. It looks very Santa Fe-esque, but not as boxy. So if you weren't exactly a fan of the way the Santa Fe looked, this is a great larger do. Now, do you think the XRT is a good buy, or do you still need to see the interior first? Charlotte's going to take you guys on a tour of the inside and tell you what else we know about the XRT.
Now we've seen a great exterior design. Let's take a look at what the interior has to offer. And overall, we're still staying pretty consistent with that squared off rugged approach for everything except our new interior door handles. In fact, we actually have something a little bit different. They're completely circular, which is a fun design and take on the door handles. I also like the fact that we're staying with mostly blacked out accents. Again, very similar with what we see on the exterior. When it comes to what else we have on the driver's side, you'll notice that we have our electronically controlled mirrors, and then our two front windows are going to be one touch with obstacle detection. Now keep in mind, this is all going to be a pre-production unit, so some of these features are subject to change depending on the final unit that makes it into the US, but also into the unit that makes it into Canada. So make sure that you guys stay tuned and subscribe, that way you guys know everything that's coming in terms of the Palisade XRT, or XRT Pro if you're in the US. Let's talk about seating. So standard is pretty much going to be this synthetic leather. It's very comfortable, and you'll notice that we have a power driver's seat. So you're able to move it forward, backwards, adjust the height, adjust the backrest, and then you also have the inclusion of lumbar support for a more comfortable ride. Definitely comfortable. That's one thing I love about the Palisade, and that Hyundai does very, very well. I also want to take a minute to show that we have the XRT debossing onto the synthetic leather of the headrest, which is going to be exclusive to this trim as well. But other than that, some really great design accents when it comes to the stitching that is done on the interior insert. Let's take a look at what we have over here on the side. Over here, you'll notice we have our brightness adjuster, our tailgate release, idle stop and go, and the option for designated tow modes. Tow modes is a fantastic conclusion for anything that is going to be XRT or more off-road rated, or not off-road rated, but more off-road-esque in its design, because what that tow mode is going to do is it's actually going to change up the powertrain shift mapping to give you the smoothest possible towing experience depending on the actual weight or the percentage of weight that you're towing. And with 5,000 pounds, you got a lot of options for this vehicle. But that is all going to be configured in the screen. And if you want to learn more about it, make sure that you check out our designated tow mode video, which we'll have linked down below. Other than that, we're still going to have our electronically controlled parking brake and your traction control. For our venting and everything else, you're going to see the continuation of some nice blacked out or dark elements. Now, steering wheel directly in front of me, leather wrapped. I'm going to guess that this is going to be heated as well. H in Morse code in black, and then a split between our driving controls and also our media controls. Behind the steering wheel, we actually have a lot going on here. We have the inclusion of paddle shifters, our lighting stalk, our wiper stalk, and also the forward attention warning or the forward attention monitoring system. So this camera, it's designed to keep an eye on your eyes to make sure that they are focused on the road. However, if we haven't been able to test it out for ourselves, so this is one feature that I am very excited to see when we finally get these vehicles of our own or some of the other ones that have it that we're actually able to drive. So stay tuned for a video on that, of course. Other than that, what I'm going to guess for our screens, because they are currently turned off, but you will notice we have a 12.3 inch screen, so a fully digital instrument cluster, and the same is going to be true for our multimedia screen. I'm going to have Gabby come around, then we'll talk about what we see in terms of climate and some more comfort elements. All right, let's talk about design. So I already mentioned our multimedia screen, so we will be seeing the CCNC software, so something very similar to what we see in the Hyundai Santa Fe, the Santa Cruz as well, and the Tucson. So continuing with that, and then down below, this is a new design and a new look specifically for the Palisade. So from here, we're going to have a mix of driving and convenience controls like auto hold, your drive and terrain modes, and then the toggle to cycle between them. On this side, we're going to have your downhill braking assist, your parking sensors, and of course your rear view camera or surround view monitor in this case if you want to go and pull up the live feed. Down here, again in black, we have real buttons and dials, which I absolutely love. And the fact that this is all of your media controls, meaning this is going to leave our climate controls completely accessible. So although this screen is off, it looks like it's going to have dual zone climate control. Very comfortable, definitely for the driver and for the passenger. And it will provide a little bit of haptic feedback as well. But I like that everything is designated to climate and media. It's not a switchable controller. Everything is as it says it is. It stays true to that. You'll also notice over here, we have a nice touch of ambient lighting as well. And again, some more XRT badging, which I think makes it feel very fun. And you're never gonna forget what trim you're in. Whether you're looking at the dash, looking at the seats, or the outside, you're gonna know that this is the Palisade XRT. Down below, lots of storage opportunities for sure. And this largely has to do with the fact that they have moved the shifter to be a column mounted shift by wire. And that's also going to include your engine start and stop button. For some more amenities, we have the inclusion of USB-Cs, and a wireless phone charger with dual cup holders and your center console. If I can get it open. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. I can't get it open. Oh wait, there you go. Okay. Okay, I think we gotta cut that part out. Okay, there's nothing in here.
Keep knowing, I'll cut it. And
Okay.
Just be like, yeah, this was an interesting choice.
All right, let's talk about your center console. It took me a couple minutes, I'm embarrassed to admit, to figure out how to open this. There is actually a release over here, so you're able to press it and then you pretty much have to open it from the side, which is fun. It looks like there is going to be some illumination, but overall this does give a decent amount of hidden storage. So for that, yeah, I'm happy with it. Up top, we do have a dark headliner, which looks really good. It looks like we're going to see the continuation of standard BlueLink, which is Hyundai's telematics system. And then also we have a just regular automatically or powered sunroof. So very nice. Let's take a look at what we see in the second row and also in the third row. All right. So So for the second row, we are rocking with the captain's chairs configuration, which is something I personally really like. Makes it incredibly easy for car seats, but also just overall second row passenger comfort. For amenities that we have back here, you'll notice that we have a household outlet. We've integrated USB-Cs on the back of both seats with a pocket here that provides a nice amount of stretch. It also looks like we're going to have some hidden storage down below with this second row center console that you are able to pull out, perfect for snacks. Up top, diffusing roof-mounted air vents, and also look at the texture on them too. They almost look like they are all-terrain tires, which I think is a really fun detail to add. And then for these two main seats, you'll notice the fact that they are heated, and all of our climate controls are going to be located up here. On the door, actually, I'll have Gabby show the climate controls. On the door, we do have the inclusion of manual windscreens, more speakers, and then also cup holders and bottle holders. These captain chair seats themselves are on a rail system, which is going to make it very easy to go and move them forward and backwards, and you're still going to have the included adjustable armrest. You can also adjust the amount of recline that these seats give you to make it a more or less comfortable ride. And then, like I said, if you want to increase the legroom for those who may be sitting in the third row, just simply pull them forward, and it's easy to do so. Speaking of third row, I'm going to head back here. There is a slight step or a slight hump because this is an all-wheel drive configuration to step into the third row. And from here, you can see that we actually have 3 seats. So we've got 4 up here, 5, 6, 7. So 7-seater configuration for our XRT. We still have third row air vents, which again, huge win when it comes to having passengers back here. We still have speakers, USB-Cs, and cup holders. And then, like I said, these seats, 2 main seats with a bonus seat in the middle. And it looks like all of these seats, or at least the 4 main ones, are going to be compatible with lower tether or lower latch anchors and rear tethers for car seats. Overall, I'd say pretty impressive, pretty spacious, and the interior of the Palisade is something that I've always loved, and that's definitely not changing. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let us know in the comments down below. It means a lot to us. That way we're able to go to these shows and film new product for you guys. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Hyundai channel, like this video, and let us know what you think in the comments down below. We'll see you next time. Bye!